Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Sunday. I hope you are having a very good weekend wherever you're watching or listening to this around the world. As I said, it is Sunday, which can of course only mean one thing. It is Euros final day, England versus Spain, a little bit later on today over in Germany. Little bit nervous, I have to say, about it. Well, actually, take the word little out there and put very nervous, because I am. Got that typical nauseating feeling in my stomach that is only going to get worse as the day goes on. I know lots of you who watch this channel are not from England. You're watching it from all around the world. It's what makes this channel so fantastic, and I love interacting with all of you. But for me, very much an Englishman, a proud one at that, who's never, ever seen his country win an international tournament. I hope you can all just indulge me or so for one more day of this tournament, and just fingers crossed England can get the job done. And look, even if you're not English and you don't really care about what's going to happen today at the Euros, we do have Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice playing for England. And we have David Raya for Spain, of course. So we have to give him his flowers as well. But Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka and Ramsdale on the bench as well. So maybe you could just support the Arsenal boys for one day or so. Right, so we will talk about that final. Mark Cucurella, who's going to be marking Bukayo Saka today, he's been speaking about the challenge of marking Bukayo Saka. Look at what Declan Rice has been saying as well, ahead of such a huge game for him up against Rodri in the midfield. What a key battle that is going to be. We'll look at what the Arsenal under-21s did yesterday. Got lots of questions from you guys as well to get stuck into. So let's start with the big game tonight. And this is such a key battle. Cucurella has been fantastic for Spain in the tournament, probably the star left back of the tournament. I imagine he's going to be in the team of the tournament when it is named after the final. It's been really impressive, become a cult hero with the Spanish fans as well. So continuing on the decent form he showed at the end of the season for Spain. Now he's going to be up against Bukayo Saka today for England. And so, you know what, if Saka plays well, England play well. It tends to happen that way. So Cucurella is going to have a massive job on his hands. And he's been speaking about the challenge of facing Bukayo Saka, which he's done a fair few times, of course, during his time in England. He said, look, I know how Saka plays. I don't really need to watch a lot of footage, as I normally watch all the Arsenal games. It is so tough to mark him, but those challenges are nice for me. Playing against rivals of such quality is nice, and I'm sure we both can't wait for it. My main target is to make him feel uncomfortable. I also think that the game's script will depend a lot on Spain and how we play rather than what England do. If we dominate the ball as we've done and we stay aware of the high pressure and everything we need to do to avoid counterattacks, we'll have plenty of chances to win. It is going to be a really intriguing battle. In fact, there's the sort of key battles, I think, in the game. This is definitely one of them. Then, as I said, Declan Rice and Rodri in the heart of midfield is going to be a crucial one as well. How the England fullbacks cope with the Spanish wide players is going to be really intriguing, because, quite frankly, I think Kyle Walker has looked as bad as I've seen him during this tournament. He's really been off form, I think, and he's going to be up against it today. And you would imagine, well, it's probably going to be wing-backs again, isn't it, rather than full-backs? And obviously, Bukayo's been playing over on the left-hand side as well. So is he going to have to deal with the threat of the Spain wingers? Probably so. But if England can get on top, if they can dominate in midfield or sort of get a grasp of game in midfield, and they can push Spain back, then maybe they're going to get the wingers tracking back and defending them rather than the other way around. So it's going to be really important. I think this battle is going to be an intriguing one in that. And Declan Rice, who's had a fantastic tournament. I spoke about it yesterday, Declan Rice. I don't get how some people, there seems to be this growing narrative about Declan Rice, which quite frankly, I think is coming from people outside of Arsenal. And mainly stirred up on social media by nameless accounts who are just doing it for clout and trying to pretend that Arsenal wasted money on Declan Rice, which is, of course, absolute rubbish, because he's been an absolute star for Arsenal. I think he's had a fantastic tournament as well. And he has looked really tired. He's admitted that himself, but he's got to push himself through the pain barrier for one more day. And if he can have a good game for England today, then England have a great chance of coming home with the trophy. Now, he's been speaking about Gareth Southgate, and a lot of this, the build up to the game, build up to the tournament, has been about Southgate. Will it be his last game? Won't it be his last game? Are England doing this because of Gareth Southgate or in spite of Gareth Southgate? Lots of people have got different opinions on it as well. This is what Declan Rice has had to say about the England manager. He says, this journey and this road we've been on has been so special. Hopefully we can do something special for him for sure. And I know for a fact that the lads would love for him to stay until 26. There's no doubt about that. The way he looks after us, how calm he is, how he is a man manager, how he is on the training pitch with us, he's top. But none of us have spoken to him about it. That's none of our business. Whatever he wants to do, whatever makes him happy, I'm sure he'll make this right decision. But I'm sure he's got the backing of everyone to stay on. He also said that England would run through brick walls for Gareth Southgate. Now, look, what Southgate's done for England has been absolutely brilliant. Do I think England could probably get a better manager than Southgate? Yes. Tactically, yes. In-game management, yes. Do I think that manager would actually do as well for England? I'm not so sure. I think international management is such an interesting and different type of management. And especially when you're managing a team like England who has struggled for so long to deal with expectation and pressure. And what Southgate has done, the biggest thing he's done since he's arrived, is take that pressure off his players and allowed them to play the way they can play. And look, his record is absolutely exceptional and stacks up against any other England manager there has ever been in history. Like I said, I think there are other managers out there who are better than Gareth Southgate. If Southgate went to a club, I don't think he'd do very well there. But it sounds really strange, and I hope you can understand what I'm saying about it. But if a better manager than Southgate came in and took charge of this England squad, I don't necessarily think that means that he will do as well as Southgate, because there's so many other things that make being a successful international manager, and you can't really fault what Southgate's done. And like Declan Rice says, the players absolutely love him, and it'd be great to see him win a trophy today for everything that he's sort of achieved. And I do think he's achieved a lot while he's been England manager. And it would be fantastic to see him win a trophy today. We shall wait and see. Very, very excited, as you can probably tell. Right. Arsenal under-21s returned yesterday with their sort of opening friendly of the summer against Bournemouth. Interesting one. Had the likes of Charlie Patino playing. Omar Rekik was back. Salah Ad-Din. Both those two scored, actually, in the game. It was a good 4-2 win for Arsenal in the sunshine. Ifeanyi Wanyeri came on in the second half, actually. He scored a goal in the second half. Salah Ad-Din scored 2. Omar Rekik scored 1. Like I said, Patino was in the game. So it's a good run out for those players. 2 completely different 11s. One's in the first half, one in the second half. And they got the next game on Tuesday. I had a question about Charlie Patino, actually. He said, it's from Drew McIntyre, surely not. Hi, Charles. Greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. Has there been any update on Charlie Patino? It seemed like he was doing well on loan, so I thought it was a lock for Swansea to buy him at a decent price. Yeah, I don't think he's going to Swansea. No. Any update on him? No. As far as I'm aware, the most likely expectation is that he will be sold this summer. He's got a year left in his contract. That might change. Who knows? He might decide to stay, sign a new deal, and if he does that, then he might well go out on loan. But I still think the likely expectation is that he will probably be sold this summer. It's good to see him back in an Arsenal shirt. He had an okay loan spell with Swansea last season. It didn't go brilliantly. There were some good points. He started well. The change of manager, I don't think, helped Charlie Patino too much. But he's still got plenty of game time, which is what you want from the Championship. But I don't think Swansea are going to be turning that move permanent this summer, and it will be interesting to see where he goes. He does, of course, have a Spanish passport, which might help him get a move abroad, which is something he has been interested in the past. But no, the latest I heard on Patino was the expectation is that he will be sold this summer. Elsewhere, Nuno Tavares is now in Italy. That is basically done. We're waiting for the announcement now. He's arrived in Italy ahead of his move to Lazio, and that is getting done. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if that even gets announced over at some point today. We'll have to wait and see on it, but it is happening. As I said yesterday, loan, which will be turned permanent in a year's time. Arsenal getting about sort of €7 million for Nuno Tavares. Now, I spoke about a few things that Mikel Arteta said during his interview with Arsenal.com in Marbella yesterday. He talked about the transfer window. He talked about the importance of pre-season and how he's going to structure everyone coming back in terms of the 4 different groups who have been, some have been away on international duty, and how that's all going to work. This was an interesting thing I just wanted to talk about that I didn't mention yesterday when he was asked, how do you improve? What is the sort of plan this summer to show when you come back, those small margins that you always talk about improving, you can improve and you can be ready to hit the ground running in a way that maybe you weren't in the first half of last season. He says the first thing now in this league is you need top elite athletes. We need to find the best version of these athletes. That's the first thing. When you see the fixture list and the amount of games we're going to be playing, those players are going to have huge demands. So physically and mentally, they have to be in the best condition. So all the plans we have put in place for them to arrive in the right condition, fresh mentally, but as well with very clear messages of the demands we are going to put on them. So we have to create a very inspiring, challenging, and at the same time enjoyable environment for them to come here on the first day and say, wow, here we go again. These guys are not going to be satisfied. They are going to be thinking about things we can still improve on and do, and we are going to get the support we need from them. If we do that, we will be better again. As I said yesterday, everything I've heard from Mikel in every interview that he's given, it just seems to be about so much work is being put into for when these players get back for the first day of preseason, whenever that is, whenever they return, if they're there now or if they're going to be back after the Euros, if they're going to be like Saka and Rice back right at the end of the summer because they're going to have an extended break because of getting to the final of the Euros. When they get to Colney on day one, they are going to find a squad that is absolutely fine-tuned and ready to go. And everything I hear from Arteta suggests that, he's no doubt about it. He would have gone away at the end of last season and thought, what do we do? How do we win this league? How do we top what we did last season, which was a record-breaking season on so many levels for Arsenal? He's going away, and now it just seems like all the focus, or so much of the focus, is on we have to start well. And I just think it's really interesting listening to what he has had to say. And as I said yesterday, you can go and watch that full interview. If you haven't watched it yet, it is well worth sort of 15 minutes of your time on Arsenal.com, where he talks about preseason, the tour of the United States, how important that is going to be, everything like that. Right, moving on to some of your questions and comments that you guys have sent in. I just wanted to start with this one from Dan, who got in touch yesterday. Says, morning, Charles. As I sit here in an unslept days in Basildon Hospital after witnessing the birth of my first child, a daughter, I can always rely on you for an 11 a.m. Arsenal update to provide some equilibrium. As the old saying goes, death taxes and Charles Watts morning update. P.S. Thank you to my baby girl for not holding out till Sunday. So look at that, 1 day old, and she might well see England win a major trophy. I just wanted to say massive congratulations to Dan. I saw this message yesterday. I thought it has to be the first message that I put up here for you all. Say, I'm sure you'll all join me as well, the Arsenal universe out there, in saying massive congratulations, Dan, on the birth of your daughter. I hope everyone is safe and well. I hope you're home by now. And trust me, that unslept days that you're in Basildon Hospital last night or 2 nights ago now, that's not going to change for about 10 years or so now. My daughter is 10. She strolled into my room at 2 a.m. last night, and I spent the next about 2 hours trying to get back to sleep in her room, standing there. So that unslept days, it's not going to go away anytime yet. So get used to that, Dan. But congratulations, mate, and look, enjoy the football later. I really hope you do. Right, couple more before we wrap this one up. Here's one from, I think, OK Yoko. No, it says, hey, Charles, how do you feel about the La Liga president getting involved in transfer business of Barcelona? He made comments about the Nico Williams situation. It's very inappropriate, in my opinion. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, have you heard Tabas, the La Liga president, has been speaking to the media, and he was asked about Barcelona, who we know want to sign Nico Williams. Nico Williams seems very interested in going to Barcelona, but Barcelona have got all these financial issues that could well stop them doing that. But Javier Tebas was talking about it, and this is what he had to say. He said, you have to think that with Barcelona's efforts to reduce their wage bill by more than 200 million euros and other measures that they have already taken within the club that have nothing to do with financial levers, it is perfectly possible to bring in a player like Nico Williams. I think he has a clause of 58 million euros. When you sign a player of 58 million, the amortization is divided by the years of the contract. If you sign him for 3 years, it'll be less than 20 million per year, plus whatever you pay the player. Barca are going to be able to be around those amounts, which are perfectly acceptable if they are back within the one-to-one rule. They are a club that is close to 1 billion in turnover. They can be in that range for this type of signing. We have to remember that the one-on-one scenario has to be fulfilled first, though. They are not there yet, but it is the closest they have been. If they get there, they can sign Nico Williams or another player with those characteristics. So yeah, very open and talking about it. It doesn't surprise me though. So in response to your question, it doesn't overly surprise me because look, Javier Tebas's priority is La Liga, obviously. And La Liga for the last few years have seen the Premier League sort of move ahead of them in terms of clout and finances, everything like that. And he wants the strongest possible product available for Spanish football. And so you don't want to be seeing a talent. If you're Javier Tebas, you don't want to see a talent like Nico Williams at his age leaving Spain and going to England. So, of course, it doesn't surprise me that he seems to have gone so public with this and saying, look, Barca can allow it to sign him. They just have to sort out a couple of little things. So, inappropriate, I don't know if I'd go as far as inappropriate. I can see why it's important to him and to other people in Spain that they keep their best players out of the clutches of the Premier League. Henry Arthur Phillips says, hi, Charles, are you sure about Sambi? Several outlets have reported that it will turn into an obligation after a certain number of games. If it's just an option to buy, it seems a pretty rubbish business to me. As far as I'm aware, it is just an option. I double checked it as well. And the response I've had back is it is just an option. It's not an obligation. There's no sort of trigger that it's going to trigger it into an obligation clause. At the moment, it is just an option to buy. That's as far as I'm aware. Look, I might be wrong. I don't think I am. I'm pretty certain I'm not, but that is the information I have when it comes to Sambi. Right, that's it from me, everyone. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Again, I do appreciate your time. As always, have a fantastic Sunday. If you're watching the game tonight, if you're English, if you're Spanish, good luck, everyone. Sit back, enjoy it. The Euros is about to come to an end. And then once that's done, Copa America as well, then focus firmly turns to all things Arsenal once again. Have a great day, everyone. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.